Okay, so there's this young lady that I knew in Mississippi. I still know her, and she's extraordinary. She is one of those people who you want to be around her. Whenever you get around her, your day just gets better. And I used to mentor her when I lived in Hattiesburg. So if she tells me something, I am apt to listen because I know that she is legit. Well, one day she sent me a text out of the blue and she said, Jasmine, I have this book that you really need to read. And I said, all right, if you say I need to read it, then I'll check it out. And she sent me the link and I opened it and the title was Burn Your Gold. And I went, I ain't reading that. And I pushed it to the side. I'm thinking, this is some mumbo jumbo. This is ridiculous. And then I thought about it, and it's not good to judge a book by its cover, literally, right? So I said, you know what? This is from Erin, and I'm going to check it out just because it's from her. And when I opened it, I could not put it down. And I remember going, oh, I wish somebody would have told me this. I wish somebody would have told me this when I first started to play sports. I wish somebody would have told me this in the 7th grade because it would have saved me a lot of heartache and it would have put my head in a totally different spot. So there's these two guys, and they're friends, and they came together to write this book. But before they wrote the book and during the writing of the book, they are the mental coaches for some really high caliber teams here in the United States. And what they do is they go in and they do mental training with these people. And every single team or group that they have worked with, their performance has increased exponentially. So before we go any further, just know that these guys are not just making stuff up. They have implemented this and it works. And I know that I told all y'all, all my boot campers about it. I told all my clients about it because I think that if we get inside this headspace, it will save you a lot of headaches. It'll save you a lot of heartache. Now, tonight, my allergies are acting up and I have some other stuff, so I took some notes, so I hope that that's all right to help me remember some things. Okay, so before we go any further, what is a goal? Somebody give me your definition of the word goal.
A tough objective that you plan to meet in a certain period of time.
Yeah, I think that's a good definition. Anybody else got anything that you want to add to that? Or when you hear the word goal, what pops into your head?
Obstacles.
That's a good answer.
Something that's long term,
Mm-hmm.
usually.
That's a really good answer. Anything else?
Something that's specific.
Yes. Yes, those are all great answers. So these guys, this is how they define it. Outcome-based results that you cannot control. Now, I think that that is an excellent, excellent definition, and here's why. If you look at any athlete, take any athlete, all right, Cam Newton, I think he's a good one to choose right now. What was his goal for the 2015 NFL season? What was his one goal? To win the Super Bowl, right? Did Cam Newton win the Super Bowl? After he lost the Super Bowl, what happened?
He was a failure.
But what happened? Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Press conference.
What happened at this press conference?
He basically had a terrible attitude.
And why?
He was disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it's so much that goes into that. Now, I, for one, am quick to defend him because I can understand where he was mentally, all right? I've been there. You put every single thing that you have into something, everything, and you do 1 hour of boot camp, and that is hard. That man trains like 5 or 6 hours a day, right? And this is his job, and everybody is watching him, and all this stuff goes into this. And before he can even take off his pants, they are pounding him with these questions. Now, I watch that, and I see Cam Newton answering the questions, right? What could you have done differently? Nothing. They played better than us. Like, he answered all these questions, right? Now, a lot of people were really offended by the way he behaved and all that, and I get it. I really do. I understand that. But I also understand that when you are an athlete, or when you are anything in the United States of America, your identity lies in your goals. We live in a society that is totally performance-based. Now, I just want you to think about it. Think about any time that you played a game or a sport, and after you finished, somebody who wasn't at the game, what's the first thing that they ask you?
Did y'all win?
Did y'all win? They don't ask, what did you learn in that game? How did you improve? in that game? What did you notice about your teammates? What did you notice about yourself? And most of the time, that conversation stops with the answer to that one question, did y'all win? Unless you go a little further and say, how many points did you score? Now, I've been there. Hello, welcome, welcome. And if the answer to that question is no, and somebody stops that conversation right there, then you feel like, man, that's where my worth is. Everything that you do is based on performance. Your job is based on performance. How much you get paid at that job is based on performance. All right? A lot of relationships are based on performance. Unconditional love is not a concept that we understand as a society. Our love is conditional. It is based on what you do, and if you don't do what I want you to do, one of us has to leave. And that's just how we operate. And that is because we have these goals that we have set for ourselves and that we have set for other people. And when we live and die in those things, whether we have verbalized them or not, our identity lives and dies in that. Now, I played sports from the time I was about 9 years old until I was 23. And my very last track meet, I will never forget this. I had a coach who came, and he coached me for 2 or 3 years. And I'm telling you, this man molded me into a record-breaking high jumper. Now, we are at the very last track meet, and my senior year, I had an injury. I had a back injury, and I struggled through that year. Every time we had a track meet, it would take me about 2 weeks of a turnaround time to be ready to have another good performance. And that worked because all the big meets were 2 weeks apart. So my senior year, even though I was in a load of pain, I had a great year, and I broke records that year because the big meets had little meets in between or no meets in between until we got to SECs, which is the conference meet, and then to regionals. Now, regionals is where you can qualify to go to nationals, and nationals is where you can become an All-American. All right? I had a goal to do 2 things. Jump 6 feet, become an All-American. Those are my 2 goals. And I worked, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked. We got to SECs. I had a heck of a meet. I had already broken 2 records that year. SECs was great. I scored for the team. Yay, yay, yay. We all love Jasmine. The very next week, it was time for regionals. And I'm out there, y'all, and my back was not happy. I couldn't warm up. It was tight. I couldn't do anything. And one of the other coaches, when you run track, you have about 6 coaches. Right? You have a coach who writes your lifting workouts. You have a coach who does your cardio. You have a coach who does your skill, right? You have all these people. So one of my other coaches, he's watching me warm up, and he called me over there to him, and he said, you don't understand the opportunity that you have right here. You have an opportunity to become an All-American. You need to get it together. I was like, good talk. Because now I'm ready, right? Now I'm mentally prepared. Not at all, right? I'm doing everything I can. I go out there, and myself, along with several other competitors, no height, which means that we didn't even clear the first height. Now, it was about 5 feet 9 inches because they wanted to hurry up and not have this go all day. And it was horrible. The meet was awful. I no-heighted, and I'm done. My college track career is over. And that coach looked at me, and he made sure he made eye contact with me, and he walked off. And he did not talk to me for years. But then my other coach, the one who instilled confidence in me, said, come here. And I went over there to him. He said, Jasmine, you better not walk out of here with your head down. You have no reason to be ashamed. You had a heck of a year. You had a heck of a career here. Your name is in the record books. I see you in 3 weeks at your wedding. Here's the difference. That first coach, my worth to him was based on achievement, reaching those goals. That second coach, he was concerned about who I was becoming. And that's where the difference is. The reason why these guys, and I agree with them, the reason why they say burn your goals is because goals are achievement-based, and you can't control them. I couldn't control that back injury. Then I found out later it was a birth defect. I definitely couldn't control that. There was nothing I could do about that. The ground was slippery. That's a big deal when you're high jumping because you have to be able to stick into the ground. I couldn't control the rain. There were so many factors that were out of my control. I didn't make the schedule. Now, was I in shape? I was in great shape. I was eating everything I was supposed to. I was the fittest I had ever been. I was doing all the rehab I was supposed to do. Every single thing in my power I did. But there were a lot of factors that I had no control over that contributed to my not becoming an All-American. And that is just life. There's always going to be factors that you can't control. There are so many factors all around us, right? All the time. There's 7 billion people on the planet. When you think about that, when you think about how big the planet is, when you think about what happened in Brussels today, do y'all know about this? There was a terrorist attack. Who could stop that? None of us. We couldn't control that. The one and only thing you can control is you. That's it. That is the only factor in this world that you have any control over. So here's what you want to do with that control. Instead of making a bunch of goals, which most of the time are just arbitrary numbers or arbitrary achievements that somebody else has lined up for us, and we say, that sounds good, I'll do that. What we want to do instead is to create a mission for our lives, right? Because when you create a life mission, every single thing that you do can come from that life mission. Everything can radiate around that. So every day, you're doing the work to get closer and closer to that mission. Here's what I mean. My mission in life is to convince people that they can do what they don't think they can. That's my mission, empowerment. I want people to know you are valid, you are important, your life matters, you are here for a reason. You have a voice. Get up and use it. Push your body, push your brain, push everything to the limit and just see what you are capable of. Most people die never knowing what they're capable of, right? So those are the things that drive me. My identity used to be totally and completely wrapped up in sports. When I got finished at Mississippi State, I was depressed for about 2 or 3 years. I didn't know what it was at first until later somebody told me that athletes go through a mourning period because all these years you were an athlete and then one day you're not on a team anymore. And some sports you can go be on a team, but they don't have pickup track meets that you can just go be a part of, right? So my identity, I really didn't know what it was in. And I just flailed for a while. And nobody could help me. I had this woman who was mentoring me, and I told her, I was like, I gotta tell you, I really don't know who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going. And you know what she told me? You don't have no real problems. Thanks, you're a great mentor. To me, that was a real problem because I was so goal-oriented. I needed something to shoot for. Now, had my paradigm been a little bit different, and now looking back at that, I would have known that that could have been used as a rest period, as a prep period. So instead of going through that time being sad and upset and depressed, I really could have gotten some true value out of that time that I missed out on because I was so concerned about having a goal and now I didn't have one anymore. So what you want to do is concentrate on a life mission, right? And really think about that. And what that does, when you eliminate, by this day, I want this, this, and this, and you say, each day, I'm working towards this, now the pressure of reaching or not reaching those goals, that pressure is gone. And each day you can look and see the progress you made instead of kicking yourself when you don't reach those goals. Because you're not going to reach all your goals. It's not going to happen. You're not going to reach all of them, right? Now, people pay a lot of money, and people have made a lot of money to hear people say, you need to write your goals down, you need to look at them every day. I've said this stuff. I've said it to y'all. Look at it every day. Say it out loud. I think there is some value in that, but I think that there is extreme value in living for today. So I started doing it, right? I read this book. I thought it was excellent. I said, I'm going to implement this, and I'm going to see what kind of difference this makes. It has made all the difference, and it's been a month. And I'm going, oh, I wish I'd known this. Why didn't somebody tell me? When you have these goals, these numbers, and this happens all the time. I'll have a client, and they'll say, By March 23rd,